In this presentation, we're going to take a look at things you can do to your website to make it easier to find in the search engines. This is also called search engine optimization, or SEO. The first thing we're going to talk about is adding more content to your website. Now, this can be in the form of a blog or simply going in and adding more text to the pages that you already have. If you're struggling to think about what kind of content you can add to the website, consider looking at your most frequently asked questions and turning those into website content. If you sell a product, or you are, even if it's not e-commerce, if you simply just sell a product, think about adding more product specifications. Are there dimensions you can add? Are there different types of uses that you can add and give ideas or suggestions for your end user to be able to use your product in multiple different ways? Can you reach out to some past clients and get testimonials? Or is a client willing to write a story or an example of how what you did for them made a difference in their business or in their life? Many of our clients have portfolios on their website, whether it's just an image portfolio or if you already have text. Consider adding more examples or more project examples to your portfolio. If your portfolio is only images right now, think about going in and actually describing what is being shown in each image. For example, if you do construction or landscaping, a lot of times you'll see a before and after photo and not have a lot of actual text description as to what is being shown. So for the construction example, maybe there was a home addition, and you could say what type of addition was being done, if you're comfortable sharing the budget, or if you're comfortable sharing maybe some challenges and how you overcame those challenges. Just adding that additional text will help in the search engine optimization. Talking about experience, awards, or accolades that you or your company have received. Anything that's going to show that you are an expert is a great thing to have on your website. So if you've won an award, rather than just placing the logo or a picture of you receiving that award, write up a little snippet about what you did to receive that award. Were you nominated, or was it a self-nomination process? Write a little bit about how you came to get that award or that accolade, so you're adding additional content to that page. If you're involved in the community, write up what you do for the community. If you're not involved in the community, this might be a good reason to go ahead and get involved. Is there something you can do and offer to your community that allows you to write additional content about that service? Obviously, company news, if you've hired somebody new, that's always a great thing to be able to easily update the website with anything new and exciting that's happening within your business. And then your take on industry trends. So right now the real estate market is really hot. If you're a real estate agent, what does that mean to your local community? Can you write up a blog post or a page about what happens when it's a buyer's market? What does that look like to a seller? What does that look like to a buyer? What does that look like to a first-time home buyer? Imagine those different case scenarios, and then you can write up a page for each one of those. So think about industry trends and then put your spin on it. So how does your company stay involved in those trends? Or are you cautioning people because these trends are happening? Write your company's spin on that. So those are just ideas on how you can, or what type of content you can be adding to your website. And again, you can put this into a blog format that you update frequently and that is a little bit more informal versus a regular web page. Or you can just add on to content onto an existing page or create a new page for that text. Now, we're going to actually go in and look at this on two different types of website applications. We're going to look at this on WordPress, and we're going to look at this on the Ultra Internet solution. But when you add content, there are things you can do to make it more attractive to Google, Yahoo, and Bing. We're going to look at focusing on one or two keywords per page. You're going to want to include what's called heading tags. You're going to want to create title tags and descriptions. I'm going to show you all of these in just a moment. We're going to talk about some smart linking on how you can link from your page to another page on your website to increase linking onto your site. And then talk a little bit about social sharing. If it's an article that you put up there, it'd be a really good idea to allow that article to be shared on, Google, Twitter. You can pin it onto Pinterest or things like that to make it so that you can get a lot more eyes on your content. So in order to actually implement this, the first thing you're going to need to know is what platform is your website built on. The two that we're going to look at today are the Ultra Internet Solution and WordPress. Those are the two I'm going to show you. If your website isn't either one of those, it may be on a different content management system, and we still may be able to help you. Just give us a call and let us know what content management system or CMS your website is on, and we usually can take a look and implement this as well for you. But we'll show you how to do it on these two popular solutions. So I'm going to end my PowerPoint here. We're going to go ahead and open up the internet. We're going to take a look at WordPress first, and you can see that I already have the WordPress backend open, and I've navigated to the point where I can add a new page. I'm going to add a page, and we're going to focus on the keyword of widget sales, or that's the page we're going to be adding to the site. So I type in the page name, and every WordPress implementation is going to be a little bit different. So this one that we're looking at happens to use an editor called the Extreme Builder. Your WordPress editor might not have this. You might be using something else. You might be using a Thrive Builder or something like that, or you may just be using the editor that comes with WordPress, and that's fine too. Generally, while they may look a little bit different, they all have the same tools. So I'm going to scroll down here, and I'm going to click on my little pencil icon, and that's going to open up my text section where I can begin editing the content. Now I'm going to go into Notepad here and copy the content, and I'm going to paste it from Notepad into the editor. And copying and pasting from Notepad just makes sure that I'm stripping out any formatting that currently existed in that content. So now I have a giant paragraph of content, and I'm going to add to it, we talked a little bit about adding a header. So for this header, we're going to call it widget sales, because that's the keyword that I'm focusing on this page. So widget sales is going to be our focus keyword, and because it's our focus keyword, I want to make the widget sales our heading 1 tag, or the H1 tag. And I do that by going up here, and again, this might be a little bit different in your editor, but we're going to go up to the normal heading here. You might see this as a paragraph heading in your editor, and click headline 1. And that's going to indicate that widget sales, that the words that I just highlighted, widget sales, that this is a heading 1 tag on this site, which indicates to the search engines that this is an important piece of text on this page. Okay? So then I'd also want to use the word widget sales in the content itself. Now this isn't going to make any sense simply because this is all lorem ipsum. But you would want to put in your keywords somewhere in there. So again, if you're a home builder in Seattle, rather than saying, the company name, you could say the company name, comma, a home builder in Seattle, and then, continue on with your paragraph. So try and work in your keywords into your content as much as you can without, seeming unnatural or what they would consider spammy. Now the next thing is I've placed a heading 1 tag, and now I want to place what's called a heading 2 tag or a subheading. So this could be widget sales is our passion. So something like that, that's a little bit more kind of a subheading that follows up to that initial header. And again, I'm going to go up to the paragraph tab here and make this a headline 2. Okay, so again, we're just telling Google that these are important pieces of content on our page. Okay, so we've set the H1 tag, we've set the H2 tag now. Maybe we'll put in widget sales again in our content, and maybe this time we're going to make it bold, for example. Okay, and then let's say that our pretend company here, we also sell, let's say we sell widgets and screws. So I'm going to put in just a sentence that says widgets and screws are our favorite products. So this keyword screws. So there could be another page that we are optimizing, and we want to optimize for screws. Maybe just the word screws is what we want to optimize for. What we would do then, when we talked a little bit about smart linking when we were back in the PowerPoint, a smart link would be is you're going to take the keyword screws. Rather than say, click here to read about our screws, you're going to actually just hyperlink that word. So we're going to click on the little hyperlink button, and again, this may look different in your editor, but typically they have kind of similar functions. And this is going to go to our page. We're just going to create a hyperlink here. Okay, and click OK. And what that does is, again, is there's going to be a relationship here between the word screws and the page that we're linking to. And the search engines are smart enough to see that. So on other pages, so let's say on the screws page, you're going to say something like, if you're interested in widget sales, we can also help you with that. And then you would hyperlink widget sales to this page that we're creating here. So that's called smart hyperlinking, where you're linking from page to page on your own website and making sure that you're using keywords to do the linking. Don't use the click here, because click here isn't a keyword for anything. So you're going to want to make sure you're hyperlinking on keywords. Okay. And then once you're done with your content, we've entered in an H1 tag, we've entered in an H2 tag, we've done a little bit of smart hyperlinking. Let's just do a quick check back on our PowerPoint here to make sure we didn't forget anything on the text itself. We could add in some sharing links, or if you include the add this or share this plugin for WordPress, then that will happen automatically, and we'll show you how to do that in another video. The last two things we need to do are the title tags and the descriptions, which you actually do in a separate section. So we'll save this piece of content here, and it's going to update in our editor, and there's what it looks like. And then we'll save this page in a minute, but what we first want to do is scroll down. Now in WordPress, you can't set the title and the description without having a third-party plugin. So for this plugin, we've actually used Yoast SEO. So if you have a WordPress site, that's one you might want to go install before you do this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to set our focus keyword. And remember, we've been optimizing this page for widget sales. So I'm going to type in our focus keyword is widget sales, and now you're going to see with these little red and orange and green dots below, it's going to kind of grade us as we go. So we're going to edit this snippet because we want to edit the title and the description. So I'm going to go back to my notepad file here because I've already created a title and a description. I'm just going to copy these and I'm going to paste them in here. So our title is widget sales, widget company name in Seattle, Washington. That's going to be our title. The title is going to appear right up here in the tabs on your browser. So that's where your titles are actually going to appear. And then your meta description, let's go back and again go to my file here and copy this. Your title should be between 25 and 35 characters, and your description should be between 150 and 160 characters. Anything more than that, and it's going to get cut off in the search engines. And in fact, in Yoast, if I were just to type in more text here, I'm going to get to the point where this line is going to turn red because it doesn't want me to include any more characters. So as long as you're in the green there, that's kind of your goal. That's where you want to be, is keeping that line green. And same thing with the description. Now with the description, you're going to see I've used our focus keyword, which is widget sales. I've used the description here I've used our focus keyword in the description 2 times. So I've used it a good amount of time for that short of a description. So that's good that we've done that. Now, if we scroll down, it says our text contains 0 keywords, and that's simply because we haven't saved our page yet. So that the Yoast SEO hasn't caught up with the fact that we actually have already added content. So let's go ahead and save this page. So I'm going to scroll all the way back up, and I'm going to click Publish. And then we'll scroll back down and we'll see if our Yoast score has changed here. So it's loading, and once this loads, and it still isn't reading our keywords for some reason. And that's fine. We know that content is actually there. So it might just be taking a minute for Yoast to actually catch up with the fact that we have widget sales, which is our focus keyword, in the text. So that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and leave it as that. And just to show you that really what I wanted to show you on this was you can change your title and your description. So you can see now our description and our title are updated with the correct title and description. Now where this is going to show up, and the reason why it's previewing like this, is because this really is what you're going to see in the search engine results. When you look for widget sales, for example, in Google, when it shows you the search engine results page, you're going to see this title and you'll see this description, or you could see a paragraph of text from the page depending on how Google wants to pull it in. But that's why you give it a keyword-rich description and a keyword-rich title to make sure that when someone is searching for widget sales, Google or Yahoo or Bing are going to take a look at your page and say, yep, these are very close match to what this person is looking for, and it's going to serve up your page. Okay, so again, the key here is use your H1 tag and your H2 tag to show a heading and to make sure that they include your keyword, and then make sure your title and description also include your keyword. Okay, so that's in WordPress. Now, if you're using an Ultra IS header, you navigate to the page. So you go to, we're editing the home page right now, but you could go into any of the inner pages or create a new page. I guess we'll just add a new page here. And we're going to call this one Widget Sales. And then on the Ultra IS, we'll quickly add the content here. So we'll just go in and copy this and paste it in. You can see there's our paragraphs. It tells me I'm spelling all of these words wrong, but that's fine. Again, I'm going to do widget sales as my header. And in the Ultra IS, the paragraph dropdown shows heading 1, heading 2, and heading 3. So there's heading 1, that's what it's going to look like. And let's just scroll down here and make a heading 2 that is widget sales is our passion. And we'll highlight that and make it a heading 2. And again, we just go to the paragraph and drop down, choose heading 2. And now we've got widget sales as our focus keyword in both the title, in both the heading 1 tag and in the heading 2 tag. And then again, you could go through and do your, making widget sales bold, typing it somewhere in the content that where it makes sense. Again, you don't just want to throw it in like I'm doing. You want to actually have it be in a place where it makes sense. And then you could also go through and do the hyperlinking. So again, the hyperlinking here, we could do it internally for a page link, or you could type in your hyperlink like we did on the other site. For example, and again, it just creates a hyperlink. And then on the Ultra IS, where you want to go is under SEO Parameters. Again, SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization. Go to SEO Parameters, and again, I'm just going to copy in my title and my description. And this is on every page of the Ultra IS, so you don't need to install anything else. You can go to SEO Parameters on any of the main pages, secondary or tertiary pages, and then you just click Save. And now if we go to the site, you're going to see that there is a widget sales page. And if we look up here, there's the title, widget sales, widget company. So it tells you there's the title information. Here's our H1 tag, here's our H2 tag, there's our hyperlink, and there is our bolded text. Okay. And again, we would have wanted to use widget sales a few more times in the content just to make sure that consistency for that focus keyword is happening across this entire page. Now, you can optimize a page for more than one keyword, but really you want to keep it maybe 1 or 2 at the most, just to make sure that your page is really specific to that keyword. If you have something similar, maybe widget sales and service, for example, or widget service, actually services might require its own second page, just because it is a very different service from sales. But if you have something that's closely related, you might be able to get away with optimizing that page for 2 different keywords as opposed to just 1. But you do want to make sure, and again, let me go back to our PowerPoint here. You do want to make sure that you have your, let me swap this. You do want to make sure that you have your title, so you have the page title up here that has a keyword in it, that your description has your keyword in it, and that it's an appropriate length and description there. And everything wants to be unique on each page. So write a unique description for each page. Tell me what is going to be on that page in the description. Same thing with the title. Your title should reflect the text that is on that page. So you want to have a unique title, a unique description. Make sure you have some smart links in there, and then it's also have the heading tags on for H1 and H2, for example. Again, we're going to cover more options like this in future videos, but we just wanted to give you a little bit of a heads up on how you could help make your website be found easier in the search engines.